Britain does spa towns rather well. Grand pump rooms with soaring columns, elegant crescents of honey-coloured stone, promenades where Georgian society once strolled to see and be seen, places where taking the waters was both medical treatment and social occasion. Bath, Cheltenham, Harrogate. These names carry weight. They appear in Jane Austen novels and period dramas. They command property prices to match their prestige. For many approaching retirement, these beautiful towns exist only in daydreams. But here is something the estate agents would rather you did not notice. Now, before we dive in, if you find this helpful, tap that subscribe button. You will not want to miss what is coming next. There are around 50 towns associated with mineral springs scattered across the United Kingdom. Not all of them became Bath. Not all of them attracted the attention of London society. Some were fashionable for a generation, then quietly forgotten. Some peaked during the Victorian railway boom, then faded when seaside holidays and modern medicine arrived. The grand pump rooms still stand. The elegant Victorian architecture remains. The mineral springs continue flowing in many cases. What these towns lack is the price tag. The spa industry stagnated in the early 20th century. Economic depression and the success of seaside resorts proved tough competition. Some spa facilities were requisitioned during the Second World War. Others were left to go derelict. But it was really modern medicine that dealt the final blow. People stopped believing that drinking sulphur water would cure their ailments. Yet something interesting is happening now. These forgotten spa towns are finding new life. Some have become commuter bases. Some have reinvented themselves around outdoor pursuits. Some remain quietly themselves, waiting to be discovered by those willing to look beyond the obvious choices. I have spent considerable time researching these places. What I found surprised me. The average property value in England now sits at £292,000. But in these forgotten spa towns, you can find Georgian townhouses, Victorian villas, and Edwardian homes for a fraction of that figure. Let us begin in the green heart of Wales. Llandrindod Wells sits in Powys, surrounded by rolling hills and farmland that stretches to the horizon. During the Victorian era, this small town attracted thousands of visitors seeking cures at its sulphur, magnesium, and Calibeti springs. The construction of the Heart of Wales railway line made Llandrindod accessible from the Midlands and South Wales. The town flourished until 1914, when the First World War drew visitors away, and they never quite returned in the same numbers. Walk down the main street today, and you will see the legacy everywhere. The restored pump room still stands. Victorian architecture lines the streets in a display of confidence from an era when this town believed its future was assured. The Rock Park, where visitors once took gentle constitutionals, remains open and peaceful. Recent surveys have rated Llandrindod Wells the happiest place to live in Wales. The town benefits from an eclectic range of small shops and cafes, supermarkets, primary and high schools, and a sports centre. The railway station still operates with services between Shrewsbury and Swansea on that same Heart of Wales line, built over a century ago. The average price for a property here is £206,312 over the last year. Semi-detached properties sell for an average of £212,000. Terraced properties fetch around £163,000. That is 30% below the national average in a town with genuine heritage and genuine community. A short drive south brings you to Builth Wells, a market town lying at the confluence of the rivers Wye and Irfon. During the Victorian era, Builth began to gain a reputation as a spa destination, with springs at Glan Wells and Park Wells attracting significant tourism. But Builth drew a different clientele from the elegant resorts. Working-class coal miners came here to treat their silicosis, seeking relief from the lung disease that plagued the mining communities of South Wales. That heritage gives Builth a different character. This is not a town built on pretension. The population stands at around 2,500. The Royal Welsh Show brings the agricultural community to life annually, filling fields with livestock, farmers, and families from across Wales. The surrounding countryside offers walking, fishing, and the kind of quiet that becomes precious when you have spent decades in busier places. Properties in Builth Wells start from £100,000. Victorian cottages needing renovation can be found for even less. For those willing to take on a project, this represents extraordinary value in a working market town with real community spirit. Crossing back into England, we find Matlock, Bath in Derbyshire. This is not a typical spa town. The settlement clings to the steep sides of the Derwent Gorge, buildings stacked above one another like an English attempt at an Italian hill village. Thermal spas were discovered here at the end of the 17th century, and the town developed into a popular hydrotherapy centre for Victorian wellness seekers. The new Bath Hotel still operates today. Its outdoor swimming pool, the Lido, was first opened in the 18th century and remains fed by natural thermal springs. Swimmers brave the water year-round, warmed from below, while mist rises around them on cold mornings. The town has embraced its quirky character. Food festivals draw crowds. An open-air theatre operates in summer months. The heights of Abraham cable cars carry visitors up to show caves with views across the Peak District. Illuminations light up the gorge each autumn weekend. Semi-detached properties here sell for an average of £189,500. The overall average sits at £308,000, but that figure reflects the larger detached properties on the valley rim. For those seeking character and easy access to the Peak District, Matlock Bath offers something genuinely different. Deep in Lincolnshire, Woodhall Spa presents another forgotten chapter of spa history. The mineral-rich waters were discovered accidentally in the 1820s when engineers boring for coal struck something unexpected. The resulting spring attracted visitors, and a town grew around it through the Victorian and Edwardian eras. What makes Woodhall Spa distinctive today is its atmosphere. Pine woods surround the settlement, giving it an almost continental feel unusual in the English flatlands. Golf courses attract players to what has become known as England's Gulf Coast. The kinema in the woods operates from a building constructed in the 1920s, complete with a Compton organ that rises from below the stage before performances. The average property price in Woodhall Spa currently stands at £288,000. That is only slightly above the national average for a town with genuine character, excellent amenities, and a pace of life that suits those seeking peace without isolation. The RAF heritage from the Second World War adds another layer of history. The dam-busters flew from nearby bases, and memorials throughout the town remember their sacrifice. Travelling west to Worcestershire, Droitwich Spa offers something altogether different. This town owes its existence not to mineral water, but to salt. Remarkable natural brine springs emanate from subterranean beds of pure rock salt 200 feet below ground level. The town was referred to as Saltwich in Anglo-Saxon charters. The name changed to Droitwich in 1215 when the town received its charter. The importance of salt can be seen in the town motto, Sal sapit omnia, salt flavours all. The Romans extracted salt here. Medieval traders grew wealthy on it. The Victorians discovered that floating in brine offered therapeutic benefits, and Droitwich reinvented itself as a SPA destination. Today, the town offers good rail links to Birmingham and Worcester. Commuters find value here, while retirees appreciate the heritage and amenities. The average property price stands at £255,000. Flats are available from £175,000. Properties suitable for retirement living start from around £180,000. North of the Scottish border, Strathpeffer occupies a sheltered valley in Ross and Cromarty. This leafy Victorian spa town sits surrounded by wooded hills, 5 miles west of Dingwall. During its heyday, Strathpeffer was a renowned European health resort, attracting visitors from across the continent who believed in the curative properties of its sulphur springs. A recent restoration has redeveloped the Grand Pavilion as a performing arts centre. The pump room, where visitors once drank water from the wells, has been restored to its Victorian splendour. Tourist hotspots include beautifully preserved architecture that speaks to the confidence of the Victorian investors who built this town. The area surrounding Strathpeffer is full of walks at all levels. Quiet woodland wanders suit those seeking gentle exercise. The hiking route up Ben Wyvis challenges those with greater ambitions. Inverness is around 25 minutes away by car, providing access to airports, hospitals, and all the amenities of a regional capital. Property prices in the area range from £110,000 to £495,000, with Victorian properties offering genuine character at reasonable prices. For those drawn to Highland landscapes, Strathpeffer offers spa heritage, community and scenery in equal measure. Great Malvern in Worcestershire occupies the slopes of the Malvern Hills. Former admirers of this town's spring water, filtered through ancient hard rocks, include Florence Nightingale and Charles Darwin. During Victorian times, thousands flocked here for the so-called water cure pioneered by Dr. James Wilson. In 1842, 2 hydropathic doctors created the Malvern water cure, a dedicated hydrotherapy treatment to stimulate lymphatic drainage. Queen Victoria demanded nothing less than bottled Malvern water during her royal tours. The town remains beautiful. You can sip the same waters from the Malvina fountain in the town centre. The priory dominates the skyline. Edward Elgar lived nearby, and his music seems to suit these hills. The culture is sophisticated but accessible. Theatre, festivals, and independent shops line streets that climb steeply from the valley floor. Property prices here are higher than other entries on this list, but still sit well below Bath or Harrogate equivalents. Victorian terraces can be found from the mid-200,000s. For those prioritising culture and landscape alongside value, Great Malvern deserves serious consideration. South Yorkshire offers a very different proposition in Askern. This was a spa destination that served the coal mining communities of the region. The town's spa peaked in the late Victorian period, drawing visitors to its sulphur springs. The spa baths closed in the 1960s. Askern is not picturesque in the Malvern sense. This is not a town that will feature in glossy retirement magazines. What it offers is honesty, community, and extraordinary value. For those prioritising value over aesthetics, for those who remember when communities looked after their own, Askern represents something increasingly rare. Properties regularly sell for under £150,000. Crossing back into Scotland, Moffat sits in Dumfries and Galloway near the border country. This SPA town developed around sulphur and chalybeate springs discovered in the 17th century. Visitors seeking cures travelled here well into the Victorian era, when the town reached its fashionable peak. Beautiful hills and woods surround this Scottish spa town today. You can still take a drink of the spring water at the restored pump room. The beautifully restored spa pavilion holds cultural events and concerts. This is a fantastic base for walkers, with routes ranging from gentle valley strolls to challenging hill climbs. Scottish border prices remain significantly below English spa town equivalents. Properties here can be found from around £180,000. The wool heritage of the town adds character. Independent shops serve the community. Cross-border accessibility means Carlisle and its mainline station sits within easy reach. We close with Buxton in Derbyshire. This is perhaps the best-known town on the list, yet it remains undervalued compared to its true equivalents. Set on the edge of the Peak District, Buxton is England's highest market town. First discovered by the Romans, over the years it has attracted everyone from Mary Queen of Scots to W.H. Auden and Jane Austen. Buxton Crescent represents one of the finest Georgian buildings in the country. Reopened in 2020 after a £70 million renovation, it has returned the town to something approaching its former glory. Explore Pool's cavern beneath the town, sip water straight from St Anne's Well. Visit the Opera House for performances that rival anything in larger cities. Property prices here start from around £200,000 for Victorian terraces. That remains well below Harrogate equivalents for a town with comparable heritage and arguably superior landscape. The Peak District literally begins at your doorstep. For those approaching retirement, the calculations change. Proximity to a major airport matters less than proximity to a good GP surgery. A vibrant nightlife matters less than a reliable bus service. A fashionable postcode matters less than neighbours who notice when you have not collected your milk. Britain's forgotten spa towns are waiting. Some of them have been waiting for over a century. Perhaps now is the time to pay attention. Please watch the video appearing on your screen next, and do subscribe if you have not already.